Hey guys, what's going on? This is Royce back with another tutorial of Autodesk Revit Essential Training. So in this tutorial, I'll be talking about annotation and text in our drawing. So let's have a look at the text first. So I'm going to go to my annotate tab, and here we got text panel, right? So I'm going to select my text by selecting this command. Shortcut key for that is TX. And now I've got to type a text, right? So I'm just going to click here, and now as you can see that it's giving me the text box now. So I'm going to type, let's say, ground floor plan. And now one thing I want to mention here, you can't press enter spacebar. You need to click on an empty space to finish that command. Alright, so we got our text there, right? So I'm gonna go into the properties, and now as you can see I've got 3 or 4 kinds of text here. So I'm gonna get like 1x4, and it's gonna get updated as well. So I'm gonna select that to 1x4. So 1x8 or 1x4. So as you can see that now, you can see the type as well. You can even edit the type as well for the text. We're gonna click on edit type, and in this dialog box you change all the settings for your text. Pretty much all these settings are self-explanatory because these are the common commands you get in any text editor software. So here you can change line weight, you can change your leaders, text font, text size, table, bold, all that stuff, right? So let's have a look at one more thing here, right? So I'm going to click OK for now. I'm going to change the text to 32 by 50 because this is according to our plan. So I'm going to click that, and here you can move this text by dragging this vertex and just dropping here. So I'm just gonna drop it here, right? And then even you can rotate that if you want to. You can increase the size, and you can apply the text. You can add more text to it. Alright, so I'm just gonna drag that backwards. Alright, so I'm gonna select this, and now on the modify panel we've got a few commands here. So the first one command is add a left side straight leader. If you want to add a leader to the left side, you click on this. If you want to add to right side, so I want to click on the right side, right? So I'm going to click on it. Now I've got my leader here. So, alright, so I'm just going to drag that, and I'm going to click here. I'm just going to drop it here. You can even drag those vertex to just make look like this. Alright, so let's say I've got another thing here, so I can apply a leader to the left side as well by clicking here. So I've got a leader here as well. Alright, so I'm going to select that again. Here you've got your remove last leader, so I can click here and that will remove the last leader what you just made. On the right you got some leader top, left, right options here, just play around with them as well. Here you can align your text center, left, right, so I just want to keep that to the left. Spelling checking is there, find and replacing is there. Alright, so now we're going to look at some more features here. I'm just going to go and add another text. I'm just going to click here, and I'm going to type brick wall. See, when I press enter, it actually starts a new line. So I'm just going to press backspace and then click on empty space. So now I'm going to apply add leader to it. So I'm going to apply a leader. Click on the modify command, select that, and now you get that leader command. So I'm just going to drag the vertex there, right? Alright, let's have a look at a few more settings here. I'm just going to click on this text, and on the left in the properties panel, you've got your edit type, alright? So here I've got my color of the text. I can change the color of the text, line weight. I'll show you background options in a second. So you got your leader, border size, and you can click on here, and I'm gonna select arrowhead fill 20 degrees, right? I'm just gonna click apply. Now as you can see that if I zoom in a little bit, as you can see that our leader arrowhead will changed. Alright, so now I'm gonna go to my elevation plan. One thing I want to mention here that any text you add here in this plan will stay here. You can't see those texts in any other level or any other elevation or any other plan. So I'm gonna go to my south elevation now, and I'm gonna text here. I'm just gonna drop the text about right here, right? So I'm gonna change the type to 1x8 inch. So I'm gonna type brick wall. Click on an empty space to finish that command, and now as you can see that we got some white background covering our text. So I'm going to go to my edit type, and here I've got options here, background. So I'm going to change that to transparent, and I'm going to apply. As you can see that we updated our text, so there is no background for the text anymore. So that's how you can apply text to your drawing. It's pretty basic and simple. So we're going to look at dimension now. I'm gonna go back to my level 1 floor plan, and here I'm gonna apply some dimensions to it. I've got a few dimensions here. I'm just gonna get rid of them. And alright, so now in annotate tab, you got this whole dimension commands here. You got aligned, linear, angular, and all these commands. You can explore this command by yourself. It's not very hard. It just does this radial, diameter, arc length, all that stuff here. They're all pretty much self-explanatory. So I'm gonna select align command, and I'm gonna just zoom into this room, right? So if I hover my cursor to this wall, as you can see that it's selecting that wall. The reason why it's selecting the whole wall, because on this option bar, you got peak point is entire wall. So I'm going to select that individual reference right for now, and I'm going to get that as the wall center lines. So if I hover over my cursor now, it's going to select the center line of the wall. So if you want to select the face, you can press tab, and then click. Alright, so now I'm going to click on this line because it's selecting the center line. I'm going to press tab again and press tab again, and I'm going to click here. So the catch here is basically if I go back and then just click on this highlighted blue line, what it's going to do, it's going to remove that, and it's not going to let me draw my dimensions. So I'm going to click here one time and show you how you do it. So a lot of people make mistakes here. They go back and they click again, which will remove that vertex for this dimension. So I'm going to come to the middle, and I'm just going to click here on the empty space. So that's how you can apply the dimensions, right? So to make sure that you don't click on the same highlighted wall. Alright, so let's apply some more dimensions. I'm going to select this wall now. So it's by default, it's selecting that wall center line. So you can change that option permanently. You can go here and change that to wall faces, center of core, faces of core. So I'm going to select the wall faces now. I'm going to click on here, and then it's going to start a dimension for me. And I'm going to drop a dimension, and I'm going to click here. So that's how you apply dimensions. Let's have a look at a few more things here with dimension. I'm going to click on the modify command. I'm going to save the project. I'm going to select this. Alright, so if you click on the text, it's going to pop up this dialog box where you can actually change the value of the dimension. You can replace this with the text. Alright, and you can apply some more text on the above. And I'm going to keep that as the actual value. I'm going to apply, and I'm going to click OK. So if I click on this vertex, I can move that text wherever I want. And if you take your text a bit away, what it's going to do, it's going to try making a leader to it. So as you can see that we got the line here, so that line represents that text links to this dimension, right? Okay, so one more thing here, if you unlock that, it's not going to be able to change that. You can't be able to change or move any text anymore, right? So I'm just going to select and unlock that, alright? Okay, so let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this as well. I'm going to select my align command again, and let's try some multiple dimension now. First, what I'm going to do, I'm going to select my whole drawing. I'm going to filter that, and I'm going to click on check none and select walls, apply, okay. And I'm going to change my walls to 8-inch generic. Alright, that's pretty simple now. Okay, so let's apply some multiple dimensions now. I'm going to zoom in here, select my align command. I'm going to select from this line. As you can see that it's selecting from the wall faces now. So I'm going to select this wall face, and I'm going to drag my vertex all the way here. I can apply that dimension here, or I can apply a dimension wherever I want. So I'm just going to click here. It's going to keep going. As long as I can go, it's going to keep applying that dimension. So I can just keep going, right? So that's one way you can apply multiple dimensions, right? So I'm going to show you this quick trick where you can apply multiple dimensions by just one click, alright? So let's go select our align command, and now I'm going to select my wall face, and here I'm going to change that to entire wall, alright? So I'm going to select this wall, and as you can see that it's actually applying the multiple dimension. It's going to calculate wherever it needed to be a dimension, so it's going to apply that. That's so easy, right? Okay, so we got that. I'm going to change the text to it, so I'm going to click on text, which will give me the same dialog box to change the dimension or replace with the text. Or I can move the text away. It's going to start drawing a leader to it. If you go a bit far, so it's going to, alright, so we have done our dimensions. Let's have a look at a few more features of the dimension, alright? So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to select the align command again. And let's say I want to apply the dimension from here, right? So it's selecting the whole wall now. I can press tab to change that to wall faces. so I don't have to go all the way there to change that to individual faces. Alright, so I'm gonna apply a multiple dimension now. I'm gonna select this face. I'm going to select this face, and I'm going to make sure that it's changed to entire wall. I'm gonna drop that here. It's gonna, okay, so I've got my dimension. If I go to option bar, so here you've got few options. You can select openings, centers, width, intersection wall. You can even add intersection wall to it. So if I delete them, let's say apply another one from this wall to this wall. So this is basically the same kind of dimension, right? But as you can see that it's adding a lot more. You've got all your basic commands here. Right, this is how you can apply dimension to your file, which is pretty easy. Linear, what it does basically, it places horizontal or vertical dimension only. It's not gonna do, let's say if I make a wall here, I'm just gonna draw a random wall with the angle, right? And I'm going to go and select my annotate with the align, and I'm gonna select this entire wall. It's gonna apply the 16 feet. It's gonna give me the length of it. Well, what if I select the linear command? If I'm going trying to select that, now as you can see the dimension is different. It only works with a horizontal and vertical axis. Alright, so this is the radial dimension, places dimension that measures the radius of an inner curve. Diameter is just to apply dimension to diameter, arc length, and all that stuff. Just explore them. These are not very hard to understand. Now I'm going to show you a very simple feature in Revit. Go to your annotate tab, and here on symbols panel you got the symbol command. So this is very simple, straightforward command which places a 2D annotation drawing symbol in a current view. So I'm going to click on it, and now in that properties you've got three kinds of symbols here: center line, north arrow. So you want to apply a north arrow to your drawing, so you can do that. Well, you can rotate after you made that symbol from using this rotation command, and there you go, you got option on an option panel as well. Rotate after placement. So I'm going to click on it, I'm going to click here, and I'm going to give this arrow. So this is basically applying a symbol. So as other objects, you can load the family here as well. So I'm going to click on it, and let's say I'll go to my US Imperial annotation, and I've got a lot of symbols available here. As you can see, these are all symbols available. You can bring them in and just apply them. This is very straightforward and simple commands. So you can apply them, you can use them, just play around and explore these symbols. What are these? So just want to show you that you can apply symbols. Right now we've got only centered line and north arrow symbol available in our Revit project. Now I'm going to show you how you can add legend view to your project. If you like to add a legend to your project, perhaps showing each kind of a door or window, you need to use within elevation, view, or some node indications, its construction or its function. There's no need to draw this manually. A legend view in Revit allows you to place a graphical representation of any family used in your project. You will be able to control scale level of details, or you will be able to insert it as either a plan or elevation symbol. And the nice thing about legend views is that these graphics are only representational, and so they won't be included in any counts in your model. So they won't throw off your visuals or anything like that. Alright, so in the project browser, if you look at the legends, you got no legends right now, right? So you can make legend sheets by right clicking and create a new legend. Or you can go to your view tab and create a legend here. So I'm going to click here. So I'm going to name it door type, right? And then there you go. This is basically an empty sheet. If you go to your annotate tab now, and here you've got details, right? So you got components. So detailed components, repeating detailed components, I'll talk about it in a second. But let's have a look at the legend component. So if I click on it, and now I can drop doors. So what are these coming from is basically if I click on components, and if I go to my this list, these are all the components of my whole project. So whatever object I used in my drawing, it's available here. As you can see that I've got my planting tree and all that stuff. So you can use these objects and just, so I'm gonna go and select my component command again, legend components, right? So here I can change that view to elevation. So now anything I select now from the list will be as elevation. So shade desk, that's the desk here, and let's try one more time. gonna go and select something like, let's say, a door, right? So this is a door we have here now. I'm gonna drop one here, I'm gonna select it, and now you can just scale it, align it, mirror it, all those basic commands you can do with it. Alright, so this is basically adding legend sheets, and you can use these objects in your legend sheet. Alright guys, thanks for watching this tutorial, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Make sure to subscribe, and if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Cheers.